Greetings, Terry here, and I just felt compelled to make a video about this new story in the news. Apparently, some guy on Twitter is complaining plagiarism about the new game Resident Evil 8 and say that Capcom stole his idea for one of the creatures in his movie called Frankenstein's Army from 2013. And yes, there do look like there are similarities on this creature propeller head. Uh, and yeah, they do look very similar. 2013, 2021, quite a bit of years difference. But I find it hard to believe that Capcom would take this idea from this obscure movie. I don't think anyone, I don't know, I just don't think it was popular enough to be noticed. I mean, this is a niche thing. I mean, some people do like those kinds of movies that are just kind of, silly fun. It's just silly fun. Like, uh, I I can't even think of any off the top of my head. I guess Shaun of the Dead's a silly movie. It's a cult classic, but it was so good that it was highly recognized and got so popular, even though it was just a silly, fun movie. But it knew what it was doing, and that's what made it great. But anyway, to the subject here, I don't think Capcom took this idea. You know why? Because they already came up with it. I think that this is not a revolutionary, uh, you know, it's not a revolutionary idea. It's not really anything new. A kid could have came up with this idea in school while they're sketching. I mean, I'm sure many kids throughout the years have thought of a propeller head enemy. How does he even see? If he's got a propeller for a head, where are his eyes? I mean, you can't fit a normal human's two eyes on either side of those grates. There's just no way. Maybe he's got like a little two individual holes around the center. I don't know. It's not meant to make sense though. That's not the point of the movie. But no, Capcom already came up with this idea years ago. Does anyone remember the Mega Man series? Mega Man had so many different boss concepts, and the one that comes to mind that looks very much like Propeller Head is Airman. This guy right here. The only difference being that it's in his chest instead of his head. Yeah. Mega Man came out like, was it 80s? Early 90s? I know there were a lot of Mega Man games in the 90s. But yeah, he's been around for years. be an even. Oh, this is just about the boss. Anyway, though he has clearly been around for many years, and there's plenty of other bosses that also have propellers, like Metal Man. I think Metal Man has two propellers on his shoulders. Uh, Shadow Man. There were several bosses that have similar concepts, but it wouldn't have surprised me if at some point Capcom would decide to make a propeller head enemy. That's my point. My point is that this idea could have came from Capcom at any point. There's also Cutman, but I'm gonna give it to you. He doesn't really. He's nothing like Propeller Man. He's got two blades, and they're more like scissors than they are a propeller. So yeah, he doesn't really fit the mark. But I was just thinking of other bosses that kind of fit the mark. There's also Metal Man from Mega Man 2. He doesn't have propellers, but he's got blades, giant razor blades, and one on his forehead. It's not exactly a propeller, but it is a spinning, rotating blade. So it's not really far off from propeller head idea. So what if it only took Capcom several years before they got to the creating a propeller head creature? I mean, I guess if it was in a Mega Man game, he would be a lot more agile and jump around and stuff instead of being a big hulking tank like creature. But that adds to the suspense of a Resident Evil game, something that's lumbering towards you and, you know, adds to the tension, the slow, steady, zombie like pace of, what you normally come across in Resident Evil 8. Or, I mean, what you usually come across in the multiple other Resident Evil games. Uh, except in 8, you got lichens, which really hop around. They're very agile. So there's that. Anyway, Resident Evil 8's been a great game. I just got through the mansion part, so yeah, that was probably, I don't know, that was great fun. That was interesting. I look forward to seeing the rest, and I hope that nothing really happens with this copyright claim fiasco, because I really doubt they took his idea. After all the other creative ideas that Capcom's come up with, why would they have any reason to take ideas from anyone else? But anyway, that's it for this video. Take care, everyone, and have a lovely day.